Okay. The oldest and strongest emotion is fear, and the oldest and strongest fear is fear of the unknown. These were the immortal and likely paraphrased words of H.P. motherfucking Lovecraft, an infamous pulp writer who created what is known today as the Cthulhu mythos, and who I think would find some appreciation in the Reapers from Mass Effect. A collection of synthetic, organic machine entities who, quite honestly, seem as if they were something I wouldn't be surprised if he shat out on a creatively bad day, kind of like what I'm having because of this crom damn computer. Sorry. Anyway, they're inspiring a fear existentially, I believe, for a number of reasons. It is not helped by their Lovecraftian aspects, which you will be seeing some comparisons or hearing some comparisons to for the record. Tragically created by the Leviathan for the exact purpose of preserving life in the galaxy, which provides the old machines with some delineation and much needed delineation from Lovecraft's old ones, who are predominantly apathetic to the existence of life forms aside from themselves, particularly humans. These eldritch abominations hibernate in a space beyond the Milky Way, such as the old ones. Just like the old ones who hide between a space between spaces, emerging every 5,000 years to wreak havoc. Sorry, couldn't help it. Collecting the dominant and more developed forms of life in the galaxy to convert them into another Reaper to join their ranks, which honestly is perhaps the more creepy and disturbing aspect of the Reapers for yours truly, because the enemy you are fighting, the legions of foes coming to tear you and yours a new one, were once sentient life forms with their own hopes and dreams that were dashed, who had their own autonomy stolen from them, violated profusely, and were transformed into monsters against their will. And this process has been undergoing for so long, no one will likely know the true scope of the damage or what has been lost because of the Reapers. Even their true name is lost, as the term Reaper was applied to them only by the Protheans, who they had harvested in the previous cycle 50,000 years before the games began. These beings are credited with a number of things. I mean, they aren't just capable of destroying. They built a citadel. I'm sure it served a purpose for them, but still, which has been likely implemented by a number of species throughout the countless cycles they've been doing this shit. They indoctrinate or infect the minds of individuals to aid in their endeavors, such as the case was with Saren. This is usually done to people who have been in contact with their artifacts or tech for way too long, and I can't even make a joke about how fucked up it is. This is comparable again to the old ones who have cults who are so mad they want to bring about the return of these monstrosities. Who, by the way, the old ones, when you see them, you are driven insane. I see no benefit from bringing them back, just like I see no benefit from bringing back the Reapers. Like, they're both scary, creepy. These beings are beyond reason or compassion, relentless in their efforts. Every interaction you as Shepard have with the Reapers or their proxies invoke feelings of attempting to hold back or hold off the inevitable, and attempting to stall them often comes at great personal cost. This is similar to the old ones in Lovecraft's writings. Like in both cases, to postpone the return of the Reapers comes at a mighty cost. For Shepard, the cost is the death of people he knows or works with sometimes. One time, to postpone their return, he had to destroy a section of the galaxy that was inhabited by Batarians. For people, when it comes to the old ones, to forestall their return, it either comes at your personal life cost or the personal cost of your sanity. Anyway, to put it in simple terms, I would say that the Reapers are psychologically terrifying because of the implications, in general terms, of their existence. They were created to serve a noble purpose, but this nobility soon was perverted into a horror show. Which is as horrifying as is as tragic, for some truly horrible things have been done and born out of nobility. They're like the marker from Dead Space. You can't really comprehend the grand scope of what they've done, but to some extent it is comprehensible, and the comprehension is kind of terrifying, if I'm being perfectly honest. Additionally, to an existential level, they are horrifying because they rob individuals of their autonomy, performing the act of harvesting life to preserve it, but denying life forms the option to self-determinism, and the process by which they do so is brutal and clinically sterile of any form of emotion, to say the least. They emerge from darkness of space one day, purging life in the universe, then vanish without a trace, almost like a great flood, and there is nothing you can really do to stop it. Imagine if everything you are, as well as those you love and your way of life, was just one day purged from existence, and there would be almost no trace of your existence to be found, thus making it as though you never really were there in the universe. And worst of all, you never even really knew who erased you. You couldn't even curse the person who did it to you. It was like, imagine if God was evil, hypothetically speaking. Imagine if God just decides one day to erase you from existence. That's kind of what the Reapers do. It's the closest thing they can do, and you can't even curse the thing because you don't even know its name. I mean, the Reapers, we don't even know their real names. That's the scary part. Their own names have been lost to time, and they don't seem to care. They're like, call us whatever you want. And yeah, and to struggle against it can feel almost pointless because eventually you will lose because you, like Cain and Raziel, are attempting to defy the tyrannous stars. Like, imagine if you were in Atlantia. Like, Atlantis was a civilization at the top of its game. It was an apex predator. It was doing so well it had time to screw with other people. Then one day a flood hits you. That's kind of the Reapers. They are the Great Flood. They are the Great Flood in a cosmic sense and in a galactic sense. And holy fuck, the damage they do is kind of underwhelming sometimes, or overwhelming. And I think that's where I'm going to end the video, because honestly, talking about this makes me want to go talk to a therapist. I can feel the existential dread just creeping up on me like a seizure on Hillary Clinton. Anyway, have a nice day, and remember the game was rigged from the start.